Hey, Lisa right here, your favorite online business coach who is here to help you create a business that's easy, fun, and profitable for you. No BS, no fluff, just actionable strategies you can implement inside every single video. Now, today I'm super excited. I am kicking off a series where I am going to be doing some human design for business chart readings. Now, this is something that I only ever do for my Digital Income Accelerator members. So whenever someone joins my membership, they get access to this reading, but I am being allowed to share these specific readings with you because these amazing people have allowed me to do that. So before we dive in, I'm going to talk you through kind of the phase that this person, so I'm going to do each one individually so that these don't get super long. And the first one is for the amazing Theresa. Now, Theresa has a website in place called Tidbits with Tess. And she has a business where she's creating digital and printable products. Right now, she is in what I call the launching Lucy phase. So this is you if you're in this phase. It's the easiest way to explain it. You're in the launching Lucy phase. If you already have your email list started and you're consistently emailing your email list, you have a couple of offers that you've presented to them, and you're in the process of launching something brand new to them. You're also probably earning less than $1,500 per month from your business. That's the launching Lucy phase. And that is where the lovely Theresa believes she is in right now. So when I asked for people to submit their charts for review, I also asked them a couple of different questions. I said, tell me about your business, what you're looking to do in the next 90 days, and where you're struggling with. Now, I ask that information so that as I'm doing the reading, I can do it through that lens. And this is the exact same questions that I'm asking Digital Income Accelerator members when they first join, to give them the same information. Because here's the thing, there are no one size fits all strategies when it comes to running your business. And as a coach, I am not here to tell people what to do at all. So that is why I implemented this in my membership, because it just makes sense. Rather than me saying, well, you could do this and you could do this, it's easier for me to be able to go, well, here are the things that are easy and fun for you based on your human design chart. So that's kind of some background information. So basically, as I said, Theresa said that she is doing digital and printable products to simplify the life of her audience, which I think is amazing. And she said, I have not really niched down, and my people are anyone who wants to help themselves by using her products. But she does have a different theme in that she mostly focuses on things that are in the magical supernatural realm, which I think is amazing. And then she has done a little bit of reworking on her website to get it more in alignment with that. She has a little over 300 subscribers, but she wants to get that up by the end of the year, which is all amazing. She is predominantly focused on products that range from printable planners and journals to digital planners and journals that actually look like the real thing, which is amazing. She also has Notion planners and other things, and she is looking to expand beyond that. So in terms of what she's looking to do in the next 90 days, let me see if I can just move this here so that I can actually look at you guys while I'm reading it. She's looking to have some blog posts completed in the next 90 days, and email each week to her audience, and at least 10 products in her shop. And she said, hopefully I have the ability to participate in a bundle or giveaway in the next 3 months to also add more people to her audience. Super smart. I'm a huge fan of collaborations. And she's also looking to get her Pinterest scheduled into her plan so that she can utilize that to grow her business and get people to her blog and shop, which is her focus for the next 90 days. Now, I haven't told you what Theresa is yet. I'll give you all of those details when we switch to looking at her chart. I really just wanted to give you kind of the rundown on where she's at right now. She is also working a 9 to 5. So this is on the side, her business. She said it's hard for her to work. This is based on her struggling, or where she's struggling right now. It's hard for her to work consistently and keep her momentum up after working all day. Absolutely. Some days she said she's on a roll and she gets a lot done. Then some days she has no motivation, even though I know I have things that need to be done. Sometimes I also worry I'm doing the wrong things or what I am doing is wrong. All normal. And she goes, it seems I still struggle with issues a newbie has that I should not have at this point in my business. I have created an amazing Notion template to keep track of everything. So I need to just make sure I actually sit down and do the work each day and mark it off as I go to feel accomplished. A couple of things here that I will definitely be referencing back to as we go through her chart is the fact that based on her type and strategy and inner authority, working a 9 to 5 job and then doing this on the side, how we manage that, feeling that she's doing the wrong things or what I'm doing is wrong, all of those components. So we're going to talk about that. So we are going to switch to now looking at Theresa's chart. So come and join me. Okay, so now we are looking at the beautiful Theresa's chart. Now, Theresa is a manifesting generator with emotional authority. And when I'm doing a chart review for a DIA member, the core areas that I focus on from a business perspective is our type, strategy, authority, and our profile numbers. And then depending on what someone has said in the form will then depend on what other things I kind of point out or where I see someone might potentially run into problems or why they're struggling right now. That's kind of the lens that I'm looking through this with. Now, you'll see that over here on the right-hand side, there is already a whole bunch of information from a business perspective. And so if you choose to get your chart through my tool, that's what you're going, this is the free report that you get after the fact, is that it gives you information based on your type, strategy, authority, all of those things from a business perspective. Now, when going through this, the things that I'm going to pay attention to are, as a manifesting generator, our auras are huge, right? If you put your arms out either side of you and you're a manifesting generator, then that's how big your aura is. And what this means is that when you're moving through the world, when you're out and about, people are just instantly going to notice you, right? Your aura is attracting. That's what it's designed to do. And that's because our strategy is to respond and inform, respond to everything externally. So our aura is set up to attract things to us. And then all our job is to respond. So for Theresa, it's very much about recognizing and understanding that if she wants to do things that are easy and fun for her in her business, it's very much about following your strategy and authority, right? Like always, strategy and authority are the 80-20 of human design. So for her, it's about responding and informing. And this is something that I find a lot of kind of the standard human design content that's out there for manifesting generators doesn't actually talk about the informing piece. We just kind of get lumped into the generator side of things, but we are more than a generator, right? We're a manifesting generator. That's the reason that we have half a generator and half a manifestor stuff. So responding and informing is really important, particularly in business. So this is what it looks like. So Theresa, this is for you. All of the stuff that you have in your business right now, and even going back to you starting your business, did you respond and inform? And let me walk you through what that would look like. So responding means that did you create your business based on something external? Like, did you see somebody else doing something and that lit up your sacral? Because that's first and foremost, we are sacral beings, right? That's this purple guy here hanging out on the chart. It is the sacral center. So first and foremost, we are sacral beings, which means that we follow joy. Whatever our sacral says yes to, that's what we do, even if it doesn't make sense to our head and mind center. So the first question I have for you, Theresa, is, Did you create your business in response? Did you follow your gut, right? Not your head, something that we have to be mindful of, regardless of whether it's open or defined, particularly when we are a manifesting generator, is that we will have plenty of ideas. Of course, we will, but not every single one is ours to do something with. So, did you create in response? And that simply just means, did I start my business because I was super excited to start it, first and foremost? And is there something external that prompted me to do that? So that's generally question number one. And then in terms of your actual offers, the things that you create, so templates, printables, all of those things, are you also doing that in response? And what I mean by that is the creating and response process goes like this. Number one, you get an idea, you're super excited about it. And that excitement is coming from your gut, right? You're getting a sacral yes. We can never, ever move forward. We should never, ever move forward if we don't have that, because energetically now we're stepping out of alignment, right? This is all about doing the things that are easy and fun. And things that are easy and fun for you, Theresa, are you following your gut. It's either a yes or it's a no. And we know what a yes looks like, right? Most of us do not go through life without experiencing what our own version of yes looks like. And for a manifesting generator, that is going to look something like this. First and foremost, you'll probably feel some level of excitement in your tummy area. It could be like a nervous anticipation, it could be butterflies, it could be just energy. It's good, right? Though it feels good. It feels really like, oh, this is like possibilities, all the things. If we haven't met, I'm a manifesting generator too, so I know what this looks like. So it starts there, but oftentimes it's also combined with us leaning forward. We might also nod our head and we might also go, right? That is a sacral response, but a sacral yes is the, oh my gosh, I can't sit still. This is so freaking amazing. That's that feeling. And that's the only thing I personally ever focus on. Everything else is a no. And there is no maybe from your sacral. It's either a heck yes or it's a no. And this is often where we can stumble because our head and mind center are always trying to make sense of the sacral, but it can't, right? These two up here can't make sense of what our sacral is guiding us toward because they cannot perceive potential and possibility. They're here to process information, to problem solve, to fact find, all of those things, but they are not here to make a decision for us. They can help influence it, they can give us information, but ultimately, our gut is what guides us. So, Theresa, are you creating in response? So, the first step in that entire process is my gut giving me a yes? The next part of that creating and response process is, okay, so I'm excited about this, but where did this idea come from? Where is the external prompt? And if you can't remember, if you're sitting there going, I don't know where this came from, then you don't move forward. Now you step into waiting to respond. And what that looks like is literally saying, hey, universe, or God, whichever way you choose to ask it, does not matter. Hey, universe, I'm super excited about this idea. Can you send me some signs that this is for me to move forward with? And then you wait. And your job is to pay attention to anything that comes into your awareness that reminds you of the idea, right? It literally could be anything. It could be an email. It could be an ad on social media. You could overhear a conversation. You could be out for a walk and you see a sign that has the name of the thing that you are considering, right? Like those signs literally show up. Your job is to pay attention. Now, typically, if it is something for you to move forward with, you are going to get signs coming in within 24 hours. That has typically been my experience, and it's certainly been the experience of my other many-gens inside my membership. So that's the process. Am I excited? Yes or no? Where am I responding? Like, what's that external thing that has prompted this idea? And then the final step in this process to ensure we're creating in response is, have I got buy-in from the human network? And what that looks like is, have I got an audience who are asking for this thing? Now, they might not be directly asking, although that does happen. They can start to ask you for specific things, and you can set this up in your business so you've got response built in. But basically, it's, have I got buy-in from the human network? As in, is my audience asking for this? Or am I seeing them talk about something that I know this is the solution for? That's what that means. But you could literally also just put this out in front of your audience and ask them, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and then seeing what they respond with, right? So you can set up response in your business. But that's the process to ensure that you're creating in response. Once you've kind of ticked all of those boxes, the next step is to inform. And this becomes really easily in your business if you're able to be really transparent with your audience. So, informing just simply means that you're always giving your audience a heads up, particularly if you're doing anything new. We never want to surprise our audience as a manifesting generator because we move quickly, they can't keep up. And so it's really important to ensure that whenever you are doing anything, you just give them a heads up. And what I mean by that is, if you are planning to do a flash sale, if you're planning to create something and present it to them, you just want to give them a heads up. It's literally a behind the scenes. That's how I approach it in my business. I just kind of give my audience a heads up. Hey, I'm planning to do this. I've been working on this. It's coming out next week, so that they are ready, which then leads down to your inner authority. So your emotional solar plexus is your inner authority. Now, when you have what we call emotional authority, it means that any big decisions, any decisions that are going to impact you and other people, you need time to allow that process to happen. In other words, not designed to make a decision in the moment, designed to sleep on it at a minimum, and you may need to sleep on it for a few days. The other thing about having emotional authority is that it's very much about understanding that you are not your emotions. So anything that we have defined in our chart, right? So anything that is colored in from a center perspective is consistent energy that we have access to 24/7. We don't need to do anything to access it. And so when you have emotional authority, when you have a defined solar plexus, your emotions are just always there. And that feels normal to you. In fact, to the point where sometimes you don't even recognize that you have some type of emotion that you're experiencing right now. And it takes someone who has an open solar plexus to kind of say to you, hey, are you doing okay? I'm sensing this, for you to then be able to go, yeah, that's true. So, what it means, though, from a decision making perspective, is that everything that we just walked through, you have to do first. And then once you kind of get to the point where you've created in response, right, that you're ready to go, energetically, this is where you're now going to step back and go, okay, how am I feeling about this idea? And so this is where you're going to do things like, you're going to ask yourself that question, how do I feel about this idea? And then let it sit for 24 hours, like sleep on it. And then just pay attention to what you feel over the course of that 24-hour period when you're considering the thing, right? Whatever that is, whatever the decision is. Now, the bigger the decision, the longer it's going to take you. And that's just simply because when you have emotional authority, you have to ensure that any decision you're making is done from your calm space. So what that means is that for you, Theresa, you definitely want to get a beat on what you energetically feel like on your own. Right? So remember, your aura is huge. So you want to be on one side of the house and everybody else on the other side so that you can energetically just get a beat on what it feels like to be you on your own. So that when you are looking to make a decision, you can do that without being influenced by anyone else's energy, because where we're open in our chart is where we're going to take in energy, right? So for you, you have 3 open centers. So when you're around other people who have any of those centers defined, it's now going to activate that center. And if you're not paying attention to how you feel energetically and you're not following your strategy and authority, that is where we can step into being out of alignment, because now that energy is impacting us. So when you understand that You are not your emotions. So, what I mean by that is it's incorrect for you to say something like, I am angry, I am sad, I'm really annoyed, anything like that, because you aren't your emotions. What is correct, or a correct way to communicate that, is I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel really annoyed. And so when you start to kind of understand that, there's also this other layer to having emotional authority, which is there are different waves associated with your emotional authority depending on the channels that you have coming out of your solar plexus. Now you have one full channel, which is the 1949 channel. So it's between the solar plexus and the root center. So this is what we call a build up wave. And what this can be like for you, and it depends, right? Everyone's experience is different. So I'm just giving you a framework. You're always going to want to layer this through what is true for you, what feels correct. So this is called a build up wave. And what this typically looks like is, for the most part, you are cool, calm, and collected, right? Nothing really phases you, bothers you, just going along. You might feel like little annoyances, but you kind of just push them to the back until you don't. And basically, that's what the build up wave is like. It's very much like a roller coaster, in that if you can imagine that you're at the start of a roller coaster and you're just doing that steady climb, that's kind of you most days, right? You're just steady climbing, climbing, climbing. And then you get to the top and you're kind of just sitting there for a beat. And then straight down you go. And that's when your emotional wave hits. And it can be triggered by anything or anyone. And there's literally no reason for it, right? It's just the release of all the emotions that have been building up over that time frame. Now, what I do say to any of my members that have emotional authority with the build up wave is that you can actually chart what this looks like and prepare for it to come. The best thing that you can do when you hit that wave, when you're in it, is to self-care and distract, not to get caught up in the emotions, because remembering that you are not your emotions is super important. And so from that business perspective, it's very much about making sure that any decision that you're making, you're doing so not in the middle of that wave, for starters, because you won't be objective. And two, that you're doing so when you feel calm, and your sense of calm is going to be different to somebody else's sense of calm, which is why it's important that you energetically know what you feel like. And that from that calm space, then your sacral is going to give you that resounding yes, if this is for you to move forward with, but you're also going to feel it, because you're going to be in that calm state and you're just going to go, yeah, this is the thing. Now, the kicker to this is, as soon as you've made a decision, probably within an hour, some doubts are going to start to creep in. And this is just normal. When you have emotional authority, you only ever have 60 to 80% certainty. You never have 100% certainty. And that's just normal. However, as a manifesting generator, you have a defined sacral. So you can always come back to that, because first and foremost, we're here to respond first. So your gut is always the starting point. Your inner authority is determining whether you have the the energy to actually do the thing. So Theresa, when you were saying things like, I don't know if some days I have energy, other days I don't. And that's just because some days you're actually super excited to do the thing and other days you're not, and totally fine. And I want you to honor those days and just know that you will get what you need to get done in the days that you have the energy. And then in the other days, forcing it is not going to work, right? So you definitely want to pay attention to the differences in your energy, because just because we can doesn't mean we do. And what I mean by that is, because you have a defined sacral, this means that you do have access to consistent energy, right? 24/7, it is like a generator. That's why it's called that. However, we only have access to it when we are doing something in alignment, as in it will give us the energy. We could literally work 24/7 if we are in alignment, as in we're excited, we're pumped, like emotional authority is all on board. That then is correct and everything is easy and fun. You'll know when you're using your sacral incorrectly because it will be hard. You'll just be like, oh my God, nothing is working. My website's not playing. This isn't working. And that is a sign to not be forcing what it is that you're doing, right? The difference is at the end of the day, if you have been doing something in alignment, you are going to have this extreme sense of satisfaction, and you're literally going to fall into bed and immediately go to sleep, right? It's not going to be difficult to sleep. You'll recharge, wake up the next morning, and you're good to go. Versus if you're doing something out of alignment, you've still got the energy because it's there. But now what's going to happen is you're going to get to the end of the day and you're going to feel burnt out and exhausted and struggle to sleep because you can't switch off because you've been doing things that were out of alignment. So all of that to say, the goal when it comes to our business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to anything that you're doing, is to ensure that you're always doing things in response, that you're informing your audience of anything that you're planning, and that you give yourself the space to energetically make sure that any decision that you're making in your business in particular is actually something that energetically you want to be doing. Now, the other layer to all of this is our profile numbers, right? So you're a 3-5. And basically what that means is that you're here to experiment and experience things, right? That's what the 3 is all about. Experience, experimenting, then sharing the lessons, right? I've been there, done that. Here's what I learned. That's the whole thing about being a 3. So you can also try lots of different things, right? It's 100% within your chart to be able to do that, following strategy and authority. And then the 5 is the guide, mentor, teacher, here to really help people based on your zone of genius. You're a natural problem solver. However, that doesn't mean that you need to solve everyone's problems, right? You're automatically going to have people just automatically identify you as the person that can help them, even though you have literally said nothing. It's just your energy, your aura. But you naturally have that built within you. A couple of other things that I want to point out are whenever we have an open heart center, we can, particularly in business, have a tendency to devalue what we offer and feel like we're not worthy. So the beauty in having any open center is that we have flexibility in how we use this. So what this just simply means is that whenever you're feeling any of this, particularly because the ego doesn't like not knowing all the things, it's probably going to then show up in your head center, and you have an open head center. So it's certainly going to be worrying about things that it can't control. It's where doubt, all of those things are going to show up. Instead of letting it do its thing, you consciously can make the decision to follow your gut. And that is why whenever we talk about the deconditioning process, we talk about following strategy and authority is always the guiding light, because it's true. Anything in our chart, whenever we're experiencing any difficulty, it all comes back to, did I follow strategy and authority? And if I didn't, let me do that. So when we have that open heart, just something to be mindful of. You may undervalue yourself and feel not worthy. Follow your gut, right? Literally your gut. You ask your gut the question. This is the 3 price points that I'm considering. Yes or no to this price point. Yes or no to this price point. Yes or no to this price point, right? Your sacral will guide you on everything. When you have an open G center, you may find yourself always looking for a direction, always feeling like you need to know where you're going in order to make sense of things. But you actually don't. When you have an open G center, you're designed to go with the flow. The whole point of having an open G center is to experience and try different things. Now you're a 3-5, so that 100% aligns with that, with being the 3 to experiment and experience things. Do that through the flexibility of the fact that you don't need to have this one direction that you go. You can go in multiple directions. This also can happen just from a personal side of things. When you have an open G center, you may also really be looking for the love of your life. Particularly if they have a defined G center, they will literally complete you. So just something that I always let people know who have an open G center, but also ultimately you're designed to be flexible with having that open. Now, with an open head center, this is where everything is going to manifest in terms of any problems that you're having. This is where the ego is going to feel negative thoughts, all of those things. But you get to decide the thoughts you think. When you have an open center, thoughts are going to be coming at you, plenty of ideas, all of those things, but you don't need to act on everything that comes into your awareness. And that's really the key to mastering human design and mastering the things that are easy and fun for you is just awareness, is having awareness of when things aren't going your way, of having awareness when your head is doing a constant loop of things. When you have awareness, it's still going to happen, right? I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect at all. I still, get off on a tangent and go, oh my gosh, this person's doing this thing over here. I'm just going to go follow it. Shiny object syndrome all the time. But it's much easier to get back on track for me to just step down into following my gut because I'm aware and I know when something feels hard and complicated and I know what it's like when it doesn't. And so I'd rather get back to that much faster. So from your perspective, Theresa, in terms of the specific struggles that you're having right now, I would hazard a guess that responding, creating a response is potentially something that you haven't been doing. And that's perfectly normal. If human design is relatively new to you, why would you even know that, right? How could you know other than you may have just followed your gut? And that's at the end of the day, the biggest thing that I say to my new DIA members is, particularly if human design is relatively new to them, is just follow what feels easy and fun for you, right? In your body, wherever that is. Because if you're doing it based off of here, then you're never going to get everything the way that you want it to go because our head and mind just aren't where we make decisions. We do it somewhere in our body, depending on what that looks like. So for you, Theresa, gut first, emotional authority second. That's what that process looks like. And your gut will continue to keep telling you yes. That's how you know. Now, you do have some other elements in your chart that can help you too. You also have a defined spleen, which means that you're intuitive and you will get in the moment information, literally backing up your gut, but you're always a sacral being first. So you might find that intuition comes to you. You may or may not recognize it, but when you have a defined spleen, if you go and have a look at those individual gates that are defined, you may find some of your senses are heightened, which means that when you walk into a room or a situation, or just if you're walking out at night or anything like that, anything where there is the potential for fight or flight situations, intuition is going to kick in, but your gut will too. But the intuition is very much you walk into a room and you're just like, man, there's just this weird vibe and you can't explain what you're feeling, just that you're feeling it. Intuition, as I said, is in the moment. So you're either paying attention to it or not. It doesn't circle back around. Now that's where the sacral is different. Your sacral will continue to say yes or no, right? It does that. It will just continue. It just does that continuation. Whereas your spleen is in the moment. You've either paid attention or not. You've either stayed to fight things out or you're ready to get the heck out of Dodge. That's kind of what that looks like. Ultimately, creating a response, give yourself some time to sleep on it and trust your gut. It is always going to put you in the right space. In terms of, the energy side of things, doing things that are right or wrong, follow your gut. Literally ask your gut, hey, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Now, I will say a couple of things just based on where you're at right now from a business perspective. I personally am not a huge fan of writing a whole bunch of blog posts unless I'm doing so strategically. And inside the Digital Income Accelerator, I walk through actually it's in the $9 roadmap that I have too, called discoverable content. And discoverable content is creating content based off your offers that are optimized to sell your offers or to bring people into your world. So that we're never creating content for the sake of creating content. So, Tess, in terms of the blog post that you're planning to create, I would just kind of filter it through that. Am I creating things based on offers, or am I just creating content for the sake of creating content? Because here's the thing, unless we're making consistent money in our business, why are we creating content? Right? It's very much about, I'm all about grow, nurture, sell. How am I growing my audience? How am I nurturing my audience? How am I selling to my audience? Every single day. And how you choose to do that is based on what feels natural and fun for you. Easy, fun, those are all the things. So, Theresa, I hope that this was helpful. Your immediate next steps, depending on what you have access to. So, let's say and assume that you have access to the Grow Your Business 5K roadmap. I would definitely be focusing on the nurturing side of things, of speaking to your audience, letting them know what you have to offer, making sure that you're creating in response. And then number two, ensuring that you've got your discoverable content in place. And then you can repurpose that for your emails, for social media, if social media is your jam. Absolutely don't need to be on social media. But also making sure that every email or every social media post that you put out into the world is optimized for the opportunity to present an offer to your audience. Now, all of that is inside the Grow Your Business roadmap. So let me know if you have any questions, but I hope that this was helpful, and thank you so much for letting me go through your chart. And if you've got any questions specifically around gates, channels, and stuff like that, the reason why I don't go into detail about those is because the reality is when you have a defined center with active gates, there's nothing you need to do to activate those other than following strategy and authority, because all of your natural gifts, strengths, and talents will just come to the forefront when you're following strategy and authority. So in your throat center, for example, you can go and have a look at those gates. They'll probably give you some ideas around the way that you naturally communicate things, particularly from a marketing perspective. But there's nothing you really need to do other than follow strategy and authority, because you will just naturally do it through those gates, right? That's kind of how that looks. So I'm happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. Okay, guys, this was Lisa Cartwright. If you are looking for more help around the human design side of things, you will find some potential links for you to go and check out. Otherwise, have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll chat with you soon.